News Talk 95.1 FM 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King, Matt Martin here at your service. Oh, gosh, that's right. We've got Jerry on the phone. But before we go there, we're broadcasting from the Thacker Jewelry Studio. View the custom collection, 6120 82nd Street in Lubbock. Yeah, I almost forgot what we were doing this morning. But it is Thursday, and it is, 7:35. That means it's time for your Car Pro. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Well, good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Doing good, guys. Just wishing for a little cooler weather, but it's okay.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm going to be out in it all day today.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm out today, I'm going to be out in a very much anticipated vehicle. I've got the new 2018 F150 Diesel. And, boy, I tell you, I've had questions on this truck for over 2 years. And especially of late as people have learned that, it's going to be getting to the dealerships very soon, probably mid-July. Most will have at least one. So this is the first time that the F-150 has ever offered a diesel. It's a 3-liter V6, putting out 250 horses, and more importantly, as with all diesels, the torque is what really matters, and it's got 440 foot-pounds of torque, which is really pretty good. I've been driving this truck all week. It's getting great gas mileage out on the highway. I'm doing about 22 in town, but just getting over 30 out on the highway.
In a diesel truck?
In a diesel truck.
That's unbelievable, is it not?
It is. It is. And then you add to that the fact that, you think, well, all right, Ram came out with an eco diesel, and it would do 30 miles to the gallon, but the towing capacity was fairly low. 9,200 pounds was the max, but most of them were around 8,000. This truck will tow 11,000 pounds.
Now, is this a half ton?
That kind of mileage. Yeah, this is a half ton F-150, just like the hundreds of thousands you see on the road every day. And it's just, the thing I did, guys, was I put a pencil to, does this truck make sense? Because you're paying $3,000 for the diesel engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question becomes, how much do you save on fuel versus that $3,000 charge? So my favorite engine in the F-150 is the 3.5-liter EcoBoost. That's their most popular engine, which that engine is a $600 charge. So we're talking a $2,400 difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a quarter per gallon difference between gas and diesel, diesel being more expensive. And so when I looked at it, your fuel savings per year with this truck is $330. So it's going to take about 7.5 years to break even on the engine. So every case is different. If you're a person who drives a lot of miles, I think this truck will pay for itself because of the longevity of the diesel engine. Typically, a diesel will go at least twice as far as a gas engine. They're just made that way. And so it's 7.5 years, but if you were going to, try to put 300,000, maybe 350,000 miles on a truck, then I think it definitely would pay off.
Well,
for me,
and I would think a diesel would go even a lot further than that if you're towing a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. Because that puts such a strain on a gas engine, depending on what size trailer you're pulling. But it was, believe it or not, actually, it's got more towing power than this diesel does. It'll tow 12,000 pounds, where this one's rated at 11. But it is an enjoyable truck. It's very, very quiet inside. You would never, ever guess you were behind the wheel of a diesel with this truck. It's very quiet.
Okay, so something that's going on locally, and I was just wondering if this is just going on around the nation, is that we've seen a lot of trailers that have been stolen, and I don't know if that's something that you do anything with, but I know you work with trucks, and apparently people are just pulling up and grabbing trailers. Is there anything on the market to stop that from happening?
Typically, yeah, there are. I mean, there's some real heavy-duty tongue locks that you can put on a trailer that will prevent it, and I always think that's a good idea, especially if you've got anything valuable. We've had some cases of that in the Metroplex. In fact, several cases that really made the news because it was charities that had their stuff stolen. There was one Boy Scout troop here that had all their camping gear that they were fixing to go on a trip with. And so, I think if you're going to leave a trailer that's not hooked to a vehicle, then I think definitely you want to get one of those heavy-duty locks. It covers the whole front end of the tongue and locks on. They're very, very secure. Not cheap. Well over $100. But
I know, but if you're keeping $4,000 or $5,000 worth of stuff in a $5,000 trailer, it's probably a couple $100 is worth it. But
yes, absolutely. One big story coming out today, guys, is the J.D. Power initial quality study, and this is where they measure the first 90 days of ownership of all the brands. And I'm going to give you a little sneak preview. The top brand for the least amount of problems is Genesis, which is the spinoff from Hyundai. The second, number 2, is Kia, and number 3 is Hyundai.
Wow.
Big surprise there.
Yeah, because, Hyundais are kind of one of the less expensive vehicles, aren't they?
They are, and they've just really stepped up their game as far as quality goes. Hyundai finished just in front of Porsche, which was number 1 last year.
And so Hyundai's from South Korea?
Yeah, okay. Yes, they are, and Kia too.
Okay.
Although they both have assembly plants here, the home office is in Korea, South Korea. And I tell you what, they are building some great cars today, and they're the 2 that have the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So the future looks bright for them.
Yeah. So I'm looking through your carprousa.com.
Yeah.
And you have an article about an all-new police interceptor that's going to be hybrid, an SUV. And I'm just reading. It's a cool looking vehicle, and it looks like it could be a good thing for police officers. Do you know whether or not they've any of the vehicles out there for police interceptors have been able to help the problem with them sitting idle for hours at a time?
I have not heard anything. I know I used to, when I was in the car business, we ordered a lot of police cars. We had the Dallas police account for many years. That was a lot of vehicles. And they always put heavy-duty batteries and heavy-duty alternators on them, heavy-duty radiators so they didn't overheat, transmission coolers. I mean, they were pretty well built even back then. I can imagine today that it's even much more. But, with gas prices going up, police agencies are looking at fuel economy today too. But, it's a fine line because they can't give up that performance, especially in their marked vehicles. So this hybrid thing may be the answer, because when you take a regular gas engine and add hybrid capability to it, you can pick up some serious horsepower. You can pick up 30 to 40% horsepower just by adding the hybrid. Then when they're driving it normally, they're getting better fuel economy. Ford says with this package here, it should save $3,200 a year per vehicle,
which is a pretty good amount of money.
That's a lot of money. Yes, it is, especially when in the bigger departments that have hundreds of cars. So if they can make this thing work and they've got it perfected, and you hope they do, then I can see the orders coming in for this.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, thank you very much. I know we're running out of time, but we want to remind everyone, carprousa.com, to keep informed. And also, you're on our radio station, 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO, from 11 to 1 every Saturday.
And I will be there this week, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. We'll talk to you next week.